Arthur Schopenhauer said that life is pending between boredom and drama. It's not only drama between people, also when your mind is overthinking, it's causing its own dramas in everyday life. But what is worse, boredom or overthinking? We will discuss even solutions, not about that you have to meditate and everything is fine. Even if meditation doesn't work, you will get solutions here. So stay until the end and have joy while watching. You all know overthinking, right? Do you have control over it or not? It depends. If you're more far developed in meditation, of course, you have the control over the thinking or over the overthinking. Or even as a non-meditator, also you can make use of the overthinking brain if you are able to steer it in the right ways, that you can use it for mental work. But as soon as negative emotions are involved or even negative thoughts, then it gets out of control and overthinking is doing crap only. But if you're in enlightenment or almost, then overthinking is not so harmful anymore. Or even you can switch it off. What about boredom? Boredom is kind of a negative emptiness. We also talked about the positive emptiness in the other video. But boredom, especially boredom, is a negative emptiness, which many people feel, which almost all people all over the world, they can feel it. Beyond meditators, which are far developed, you feel the positive emptiness. I mean, basically the normal people, the people who are in everyday life, they feel the boredom because they are always overstimulated by their phones, by their entanglements in work, by their entanglements in society and hobbies, other things. They are so overstimulated that at the end, whenever they have no phone or they are not in any of kind of their stimulation things, then they are suddenly bored because they can't bear the silence, they can't bear the calm moments in their lives. But you do. So that's why you are always in development. And for some of you, even boredom doesn't exist, because whenever there is kind of a boredom or kind of nothing to do, then you are meditating. So, and then boredom is no problem for you. But it can, even on very far developed meditators, whenever really boredom appears, and it can appear when, for example, you are entangled in a society and they have a certain topic which is very low, very boring. You actually prefer the silence or a higher topic like a philosophy or so, but both is missing. So they are talking only about, I don't know, comparing prices for any stuff. And so you are so much bored only from their talk. It can happen that even you got attacks, not any attacks. It can happen your own attacks, your projections from the ego. It can start because you have new values and new interests, and suddenly you are confronted with their interests. Then it can be very boring. And then it can happen that your mind starts projection just out of the boredom. It's maybe even an old habit when the time was before you were a meditator, and also you fall in boredom and mind starts to project. That means who try to blame others in the thoughts and these things. Or even you get triggers just because of the boredom, that things trigger you. This is also a result from projection sometimes, but sometimes even it appears comes from alone, that only a person is there, they are entangled in their stuff, you are bored, and these people, they have their normal negativity with them because they don't want to develop. And then it can happen that some of these negative emotions triggers you out of nothing, because you try to be empty, you try to meditate, but meditation not always works, even not in the boredom times. Then it can happen, there can happen that kind of spiritual attack by an emotion from another person. So you can see both are not too bad, actually. You can use the overthinking for good things also. You can get it under control also, as well as the boredom. The farther you are developed in meditation, you are in control. Even in the boredom, it appears a beautiful emptiness for you. So there is actually no problem in both, but both in combination could be harmful sometimes. In most cases, it appears that the boredom is there first, and out of the boredom, the overthinking starts. So actually, in that case, the boredom is worse because it is the fundament for the overthinking. And I think there is no case, or almost never a case, that it is vice versa. So always the boredom starts and then the overthinking. But it's never that the overthinking starts and then you are bored suddenly. No, because we are all in our minds love to think and to overthink. And that's the problem, because then They can't stop it. Even it's a negative thought and it's entangling more and more in negativity, even that the mind doesn't want to stop, even it's so negative. So because we have not only the habit, it's actually an addiction of thinking. When you have abolished all material addictions of your life, you know that there is only one addiction left, and this is thinking. And that's why we all suffer, and that's why we want to develop and to get it under control. And that brings us already to the solution. The first solution against the overthinking is to give the mind not too much workload. When you're entangled in the everyday life with a full-time job, and actually you don't need a full-time job, maybe half of the money would be also enough to survive, then try to reduce your job, your work time, or even in the free time also the workload. You have to reduce, because whenever work is reduced, there is more time for meditation. This will be always better than to be entangled so much in work and in other stuff. The second aspect is to meditate. Meditation always is good against overthinking. Not any meditation, there are certain kinds of meditation which are so important. One of them is the observing meditation. You try to observe your overthinking as kind of a third person who is sitting. See, actually there is a higher person in you, your higher self, even seeing all these things also. But when you try to go in this perspective, even if meditation doesn't work, then it can happen that suddenly it starts. So try always to observe yourself, and suddenly you will maybe fall in this kind of better meditation. But what if meditation doesn't work? Also, there are solutions. As I already said, you can use your mind also for useful things. So give your mind useful tasks. You can solve a crossword in the worst case, but you also can give the mind a good task, like reading a book or doing something. The best thing is doing something bigger. Even a movie is good when you don't distract. People distract on the phone because they are looking all the short movies, and that's not good. But when you look a constant long movie, like 1.5 hours or so, a normal movie, then it is good for your mind to focus, to stay in the storyline. And this will make your mind even more concentrated, more focused, and this will also bring better results also later for meditation. But first of all, to not overthink and not to distract and not to overstimulate all the time. Or what's even better than a movie, you have a bigger hobby that you are concentrated in, kind of building something or only producing. See, then also your mind is busy, but in a certain thing, which is only this thing. This hobby has to be, of course, not too overstimulating. It is best to just to do some kind of handwork or so. And then you have to be involved. You can do it for half an hour only, but you can also do it for many hours. It depends on your time also. But the longer you do it in a row, also this will focus your mind. This will be a good solution against the overthinking. But how to deal with boredom? Also, here are solutions. The first thing, of course, again, it's meditation, because whenever you are in meditation, there is no boredom. Then we can even skip this topic. But when it doesn't work, also here it counts reading. Take a good book, not only short things. Even if it doesn't work, of course, in the beginning, you can even just take short things, just a verse from a scripture or something like this. Not only heavy things, but later your reading routine will become better. Then you will also be able to read longer things, like a whole book. And the last and third thing against the boredom is you can ask yourself questions. Why should you suffer from the boredom instead of using that free time? It's free time, not boredom. So you can ask certain questions to yourself. You can ask these basic questions, which are about who am I really? We are talking about on this channel so much on these questions. Now, why do humans actually exist? What is the purpose of all of this? And so you can ask yourself, you can observe these questions, you can investigate, you can go deeper, you can make a mind map, you can write down which ideas appear, which could be, what is there, could there be a God or not? Or is this only happenings by accident? And see, there are so many things you can consider, and you can find your own solutions. You don't have to believe anything. And this channel is also, sometimes I quote something from religion or from philosophy just because some people love to hear the old philosophers. But also, we are free here. You are open-minded, and you are free that you can investigate that bigger questions for yourself. And that is actually a big goal we have to do. And it's not about that we are on dogmas just following a certain thing. If you like something to add or have your own experience and want to share it with someone, please let me know down below in the comments. Have a nice week. See you soon. Bye.